What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Panda, and I want to do a reaction video to, yes, you guessed it, my jazzy life, okay? But before we get started on today's video, hit the like button, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever this channel drops any new content. So if you're not ready, you need to get ready because we're going to talk about all of this, and I'm going to give my opinion about the situation surely as we move forward, honey. So let's get started on today's video. Okay. So basically, Jasmine is jealous because Phillip is in a happy relationship and both of them have incomes. He's in a 2-income household and she seems very upset about that. Okay. She's threatening to go down to the child support office in retaliation to put Phillip back on child support because she's trying to retaliate against him because obviously they got into some type of disagreement, her and Phillip. And he stated that she was broke and she is up in her feelings about this. Now y'all know that she took him off of child support according to her. Like, you don't know what to believe with Jasmine. Jasmine is, to me, is a pathological liar because if you notice, if you watch her lives, sometimes you'll hear her say that she took Phillip off of child support because a lot of the times the kids spend more time over there with him and Hannah, and then other times she'll say that he is on child support. So you don't know what to believe with her. She is deceitful and she is a liar, okay? So what she said was that she offered to take him off of child support in exchange for the kids being with him a little bit more, I guess, to give her a break or whatever. Now that she is in a financial bind and Phillip is working a better paying job, bringing home more money, now she wants to cash in, okay, because her back is against him and she's drowning in debt. So now she wants to try to put all of this on him, which I don't think is fair because I feel like as a dad, I feel like considering the fact that he got out of jail, he put his feet to the floor and came in to do what he's supposed to do by his kids. And a lot of men don't do that. They pay child support and they keep it moving. I think that Jasmine is wrong. The reason why I feel that Jasmine is wrong because Phillip is good to those kids. He is really, really good to them. He provides for them very well and he spends quality time with them, which I wouldn't say all, because that's not fair to say that all men don't spend time with their kids. But a lot of times men, when they get in new relationships, they don't want to be bothered with their kids from their past relationship. A lot of men is not going to do what Phillip is doing. They would pay their child support and that's it and that's all. I think it's very honorable that he goes out of his way. He does more for them on their birthdays than she does. He does. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? He does way more than she does. He makes sure that each child gets a party. She don't do that. He makes them feel special. He takes them places. Now, according to Jasmine, she stated that Phillip called her broke and she seems pretty upset about it. How can she get mad about the truth? I don't think that he should have said that, but knowing Jasmine, it's way more to this story than what she's telling us. Way more. But like I was saying, I still feel like it's more to that story than what she's telling us. Because she's only telling the version of the story that makes Phillip look bad. She's not telling, I'm sure it was a whole back and forth dialogue between himself and her. So I'm quite sure if we ask Phillip his version of the story, which we may never get it, you know, I'm quite sure he probably would add more to the story and tell us more of what she said. Because I'm quite sure she probably said some pretty disparaging things to him as well, you know. So she's trying to make herself look innocent and make him look really bad. But she looks bad to me in my eyes because of the way that she treats her children. That's why she looks bad to me. I feel like Jasmine lives above her financial means. I think that she is mad that Phillip won't give her money so that her and Stinkabug can go out to eat and enjoy themselves after she goes to the gym. Because you know she don't really take the other Phillip's kids out. And I'm sure he watches these videos and he notices that. And they're old enough to talk, all of them. Kaylin's old enough to talk. Amaya's older. You know she's the chatterbox. She's the one that's going to tell it and tell it all, honey. She's going to tell it. If anybody gonna tell it. And even Ava and Aiden is old enough to talk and tell Phillip things. Even if he doesn't watch the videos. I'm quite sure they be telling, their father, how the things that she does and says to them. It's Philip's job to provide for his kids. It's not his job to provide for Stinkerbug or Jasmine. Jasmine is no longer his responsibility because they're not together anymore. And Stinkerbug is not his child. He can do for him if he chooses to, but he's not obligated to do anything for Chris's son. That's Chris' responsibility. Okay? She needs to ask Chris for some money for their son. That's what she needs to do. That's what I'm saying. Jasmine is all over the place. 1 minute Chris don't help with Stinkerbug. He don't come see him. He don't send no money. And then the next minute, now that she mad at Phillip, all of a sudden Chris is such this great guy that he sends Stinkerbug $100 a week. I don't think he send that baby nothing, to be quite honest about it. I think for some reason she's always protecting Chris because I feel like deep down inside she still want him to come back and be with her. I don't know why. I think listen, he's not a good look. I feel like he's selfish. I feel like he's mean. I feel like he's arrogant and cocky for no reason. He's not good looking. I just don't like the guy. He's just not a good look. Now, she also stated that Phillip said that they are best friends. When I say they, I'm referring to Phillip and Jasmine. Child, please. Why would you want to be best friends with your baby daddy? Only thing they need to do is co-parent. They don't need to be best friends. Phillip and Chris know exactly what to say to get over on Jasmine. She is just so dumb when it comes down to men. She needs to stop telling Phillip all her business. Okay? She don't got no friends, it seemed like. Because why would you want to talk to your baby daddy about your man problems and about your financial problems if he ain't helping you? Does that make sense to y'all? Because it sure enough don't make sense to me. And she also needs to stop being a listening ear for him. Quiet as it's kept, that's how stuff gets started. And when by stuff, y'all know what I'm talking about. Miss Hannah, if you listening to Miss Panda, I know my page ain't that big and everything, and I have a small channel. But girl, you better watch that Jasmine, honey. Because she's a sneaky little thing. That's why she's talking to Phillip and being all extra nice and everything, and he ain't going for it. That's the real reason why she mad. Because she's been struggling financially since Chris left her for real. So I don't know why she's trying to act all sad and broke down now. I don't know if her and Phillip had a little something on the sneaky on the low on the side. But hey, Miss Hannah, you better keep your eyes open. You better watch her because you know Jasmine is desperate and she'll do anything for a man. And Phillip, she was over the moon for Phillip, honey. She was worse over Phillip than she was with Chris. I think Chris did her dirtier. Because I think deep down inside, in some ways, I think Phillip genuinely, when they were together, I think he was a little bit more genuine and loved her a little bit more than Chris did. I don't think Chris ever loved her. I think he was more into the world. He was more worldly than Jasmine is, because Jasmine is sheltered. If you notice, Jasmine never goes out. Jasmine stays in the house a lot, so she doesn't really know what goes on. She's more of an internet person. Like her relationships and her friendships are internet based. She doesn't go out into the real world really and interact with people unless it's like a doctor's appointment or if she's going to like HEB or Walmart for supplies. But as far as like hanging out all the time, she doesn't do that. So that's why I felt like he was, she kind of reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood a little bit. I know that's dumb. I know it's a fairy tale, but Chris reminds me of a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's just what this situation reminds me about. He convinced her that he was just sweet, caring, loving guy. And he just was a wolf. And she didn't even see that. She was just so eggplant-matized over him. Jasmine is still mad at the fact that Chris left her. And now she's stuck taking care of Stinkerbug by herself. She was being Phillip listening ear, but she probably got mad once she realized that he wasn't going to leave Hannah and come back to her. Because at that point, it didn't really matter. Everything was cool as long as her and Chris was together. Everything was cool. They had a decent co-parenting relationship. He still was coming to get the kids and spending time with them. Everything was cool because she had her due. But now all of a sudden that her household is broken up. Now all of a sudden she wants to spill that venom and that dissension over into Hannah and Phillip's because they're fine. They're still working. They both got jobs. Hannah's working. Phillip is working. I don't know how much money he's making, but he got a job. They got a decent home. You know, he's still coming and getting the kids and taking care of them. But now that her household is in disarray, now misery loves company. She wants them to be unhappy too. You see how that works? And why would he leave Hannah and come back to Jasmine? Hannah has a job, and a good job. Okay? Hannah, not being funny, Hannah ain't all that pretty to me as far as looks. But I like the fact that she's feminine. She's also very responsible, and she's smart, and she carries herself well. But Hannah not stupid. Y'all don't think that she don't know what Jasmine trying to do? She is willing to keep his kids with her at her and Phillip house most of the time, so he ain't really got to deal with Jasmine like that except for over the phone for real. You understand? Hannah, listen, Hannah is playing chess. Listen, people might think that Hannah is stupid for taking care of kids that ain't hers, but as a stepmom, she know exactly what she doing. She know what she dealing with Jasmine, and I don't really blame her. If she can handle it, which I don't know if I can handle like 4 kids that ain't mine, but she seems to be doing a pretty good job because it seems like she really care. They seem like they really care about each other. I'm quite sure they go through their ups and downs like any other couple, but she's pretty good. She's a better mother to them kids than to me Jasmine is. To me, she's more nurturing. She seems like she cares more for them than her. Ooh, child. Jasmine is hot as fish grease over the fact that Phillip called her broke, child. That's all she keep reiterating. And she's jealous the fact that Hannah is over there helping to pay rent and holding her household down like a real woman is supposed to, and being strong and independent about it while maintaining her relationship. Jasmine, you could take a few notes from her because she don't seem to have lost her identity being with Phillip like you did, and you lost your identity with Chris too. Okay? And Jasmine also keeps stating that she doesn't have anybody to help her. Welcome to the real world. A lot of times it's really like that. It's women out here that's holding down multiple jobs and multiple kids by themselves. She would have help. I feel like if she didn't allow Chris to burn down bridges and ruin her relationship with all her friends and her family. That's where she went wrong, because she had a mother and she had a village that was rallying around her whenever she was in need. Her mother had her back. But because she turned against her mother, he was playing her the whole time. Because she turned against her mother, her flesh and blood, for this man meant that much to you that you would disrespect your mama and think that you not going to pay no consequences. You must be out your mind. God is going to make sure them kids is okay because they got Hannah and they got their daddy. But you, my dear, he is going to punish you for the way that you treated your kids, the way that you mistreated your mother and cussed her out on the internet for the world to see. Nobody forgot about that because I didn't. Also, Jasmine keeps bringing up the fact that she took care of all 4 of Phillip's kids while he was in jail. First of all, that was what a mother is supposed to do because she's their mother. That's her job. They're her children. She act like somebody's supposed to give her some accolades or a trophy for taking care of her children while her baby daddy was locked up. That's what most mothers do. Act like she's supposed to get some type of a reward or something. She keeps saying that she took care of his kids like they're not her kids too. She acting like she did this man a favor. She is crazy. She also blames the fact that she can't find a place to move on Phillip. She stated that he allegedly messed up her credit. How did he mess up her credit? And why is she blaming all of this on Phillip all of a sudden? Chris also helped to destroy her self-esteem and her credit also. I'm sure she put things in her name for Chris as well. So why she ain't going at him on Beyonce's internet the way she attacking frog-faced, bug-eyed Phillip? I don't understand why she's placing all the blame for all her financial woes onto Phillip. I don't think that that's fair. I feel like she should evenly distribute her wrath onto Chris as well. I don't respect it until she does that. Far as I'm concerned, Phillip and Chris only did what she allowed both of them to do. They had her sewed up. She let them use her because she was eggplant-matized. So if she was eggplant-matized, then that's her business. She is also upset at the fact that he is throwing in her face that he is doing better than her financially. She's jealous that he can afford to throw the kids' birthday parties and take the kids on trips that they deserved. Jasmine doesn't really do much for the kids as far as their birthdays. Remember, most of the time y'all remember? When their birthday would roll around, she wouldn't even barely get them a cake. And she would sit them in front of the internet and have them begging her supporters for cash apps. Okay? Y'all don't remember that? Because I remember. And she doesn't really take them out that much either, because if she took them somewhere, she would have filmed it. You know, she films everything every time she goes somewhere, because that would have been content for her, because you know she don't go out much. So anything she does outside the house, or even inside the house for that matter, is content. Now, y'all don't remember Jasmine saying that she had a college degree? Now, did she graduate from college for real? Like, what college did she go to, and what did she go to college for? What is her degree in? Or did she just go to just any old college? Because my thing is, if she has a college degree, then there's no reason why this woman should be broke. Why isn't she using this degree that she claims to have? Anybody can do YouTube. You don't need a degree to make YouTube videos. And some people blow up bigger than her and making more money than she is. And they don't have no college degree. Some of them don't have no high school diploma. They don't require much. Oh my God, it's so much to unpack. Drop down in the comment section and don't forget to leave a comment. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget, okay? This chick is mad at Phillip for not taking time off of work to take the kids to an appointment. I think it was like some type of doctor's appointment. Why should he have to take off work to take them? Jasmine, Phillip works a regular 9-to-5 job, you idiot. He might not be able to take off work, but you could have taken them because you work for YouTube, which means she has way more flexibility in her schedule than Phillip and Hannah does. So that's no excuse. And stop trying to push your responsibilities off on Hannah. Those are not her kids to be taken care of. She doesn't have to take time off of work to take your kids to appointments. That's not her responsibility. Now, she helps take care of your children, Miss Jasmine, because she is in a relationship with your baby daddy, which is your ex-man, which is now her new man. She helps your children out of love for him, off the strength of her man. That's why. She don't have to do anything if she don't want to. She doesn't owe you anything. That's your responsibility. You didn't take them out of spite. That's why you didn't take them. Jasmine is broke because she doesn't manage her money or her time properly. She worries about what Chris is still doing, and that's none of her business. She's always worrying about what's going on YouTube instead of creating her content, which she keeps saying that YouTube is a job, but whatever. She worried about everything and everyone except her kids. If you let an idiot talk long enough, they'll tell you everything you need to know. She got mad because Phillip took off work to go out of town, him and Hannah. That's why she's really mad, if you really took the time to listen, for real. That is why she's making it an issue and didn't want to take the kids to the doctor. I don't feel like she should have taken that out on her kids. Okay? I don't feel like that's their fault. If she has a problem with Phillip, take that up with Phillip. But I don't feel like she should be punishing the kids because she's mad at him. I don't like that about her. She's petty. She's very petty. So my thing is this. So what is Phillip is supposed to sit around and be miserable, oppressed, and downtrodden because your man left you and you can't pay your bills? That would be your problem. I mean, I feel bad for her, but life don't stop lifing because you got your problems. Everybody has bills. Everybody got things going on. I feel like she's just happy. She's jealous because they're happy and they're living their lives. She was saying that she doesn't hardly go anywhere and how she's always home. My thing is, whose problem is that? Nobody's holding her hostage. Phillip has them kids more than she do, and she still chooses to sit her behind the house instead of going out, entertaining her friendships, and maybe possibly looking for a job. She could find a job where she could try to work around, set up a schedule in some type of way when Phillip has the kids. But then again, what is she going to do with Stinkabug? She could put his behind in daycare, honey. Now, where I come from, they have a situation called Program for Parents. It's basically a government-funded agency through the city that you live in. They put funds in, and you go there and you apply. And you don't necessarily have to get welfare, but I think you have to have a certain income, and they will pay for your child care. And sometimes it depends on how low your income is. If your income is, you're not really making a lot of money, then you probably won't have to pay anything for child care. But in some cases you might have to pay like maybe $10 or $20 or something like that. But it's not a lot. It's like a little copay, but it's not a lot. She needs to look into that. You know, I know they probably have something different. They might call it something different in Texas. But she needs to do a better job of utilizing resources instead of coming up on the internet begging people for money all the time. That's what she needs to do. And she can also find a work from home job. And maybe have like a babysitter come to the house if she doesn't trust anybody, which I wouldn't blame her because you can't trust people with your kids, especially people you don't know. Or maybe she could work something out with Phillip. Will she pay him to watch Stinkabug? Because it's not his responsibility to watch him for free, but at least she knows that he'll be with his siblings. She knows that Phillip is, you know, he's good with kids. You know, he's going to take pretty decent care of them. Just slide him a couple extra dollars. Or whatever. See, the thing about Jasmine is that she feels like when Phillip has the kids, she's not supposed to do anything for them at all. I don't feel like that is fair because when she has the kids in her care, she still calls Phillip and Hannah to ask them to do things for the children. But they're not supposed to expect anything from her while they're in her care. How is that fair, Jazz? I don't think that that's fair. Do y'all think it's fair? Drop down in the comment section and tell me if y'all think that's fair or not, because I don't think it's fair. I really feel that the only reason she's giving them a hard time is because she's jealous of their happiness and jealous of their relationship. She says she don't want Phillip, but I bet money if he left Hannah today and wanted to get back with Jasmine, she would let him come back. Even though she claims she don't like him and she would rather be with Chris. But Jasmine is the type of woman that can't be alone. So she's willing to accept anybody just to have somebody to lay next to and just to be able to be in a relationship with somebody to avoid being alone. Another thing that got on my nerves with Jasmine's live was the way that she talks to those kids. And you can clearly tell that it was one of the Davis kids that she was talking smack to. Look at her demeanor when she's talking to those kids. Let me unpause it. You can't hear what she's saying, but she just always look visibly irritated with them whenever they come around her. Look at her face. Look at her body language. You could tell she's talking to one of the older kids because she don't treat Stinkabug like that. We know that's her golden child. She do not treat Stinkabug like that. Look at the eye roll. Just look at her. See what I mean? That's what I be talking about. She be visibly irritated with them. It's not fair. I don't like that. One of her supporters in the comment section of her live told her to work on her brand and stop worrying about what people on the internet say about her. Of course, she came up with a ready-made excuse as to why she couldn't do that too. This chick, she never ceases to amaze me. This woman, no matter how many solutions you come up with, she will always find an excuse why she can't work, why she can't put Stinkabug in daycare, why she can't do something, why. It's always a ready-made excuse why she can't do anything. Like, she acts so helpless. She don't got no hustle in her at all. No hustle. She don't got no type of hustle. And the funny thing about it is she doesn't give Chris the same energy that she gives to Phillip. At all. at all. She mad, hush mouth, and quiet when it comes down to Chris. I wouldn't be shocked if she was still talking and sneaking and talking to him. Like, she's like, and wouldn't even care. Like, she's so desperate to have Chris in her life, or have any man in her life, that she's willing to play, even though she was his main girlfriend at one point, with them living together and having stink a bug and everything. In order to keep him in her life, she is willing to demote herself down to being a side chick just to keep that man in her life. That's how low her self-esteem is. It's like Phillip sees his kids more and does way more than Chris does. If she wants to talk crap to Chris, she has to text him. She has to text him. He don't even want to have a conversation on the phone with her. He hates this woman so much to the point where he don't even want to talk to her on the phone or in person. That he is done with her. Like, done. Yo, that is so crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry, I had to hydrate myself. Water is key, the key to life. Now, her credit score is in the toilet, and it's basically her fault, I feel like. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like it's her fault. She's always playing sugar mama to her men. And I'm not just talking about Chris and Phillip. I'm quite sure if a new man came into her life, I'm quite sure she'll probably, once she get back on her feet, she's all broke down and crying right now. But if a new man was to come into her life, she'll be the same way with him. She ain't learned her lesson. She be paying for everything every time they go out and putting things in her name for them. Stop putting things in your name for people. I don't care who it is. Stop letting people use you and use your credit. Okay? Every move Jasmine made was to benefit a man and keep him happy. But you notice that she gives her kids the bare minimum. When she goes out, like she don't barely want to spend no money on. But when it came down to Chris could get anything from her. Anything. It don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much begging. She would drop videos, 3-4 videos a day, go live all the time, just to make sure she ran up the bag, to make sure she had enough money, to make sure that she provided whatever it was that made him happy. And in the end, he slipped through her fingers like sand. He left anyway. She's setting her supporters up to run up the bag. You see how she looking? You see how she looking all sad and, teary-eyed and look like she just got finished crying? I noticed that about her. This is a game to her. Like, she is setting her supporters up to run the bag up again like they did before. I think it was like in January when she first officially announced that her and Chris was like officially over. And she was up here every single solitary day and she was crying and everything. And, she ran that story into the ground until she couldn't run that story into the ground no more. And people was cash apping her left and right. She made a big, big bag. And I ain't just talking about off of YouTube. I'm talking about from people just like cash apping her, sending her money. Like she uses people. She is a user. She is a user.
I don't even know how long I'll be able to stay on here because Legend sleep, but I've been just sitting in the car. I've been in here for an hour. I don't know, y'all. I just be want to give up.
She know how to blow a dog whistle. Like whenever she use words like I just want to give up, and she knows how to, like the title, she knows exactly what to say to gauge sympathy from people. She really does. She really, really, really does. I noticed that about her. Like, and she's a faker too. Like I peeped that like way before that little skit that her and Phillip had did. Like I think a week or two ago. Like she's a big faker. Like you don't even know what to believe with her. You don't know what's real and what's fake with her, for real. Like she is just so fake to me.
And it's not like social media, because in reality it's like, I don't care what anybody says on social media.
That's a lie. She be up here banging and swinging and windmilling and making videos almost every day about somebody saying something to her, whether it's somebody in the comment section, whether it's one of her supporters that's saying something to her, that they might be giving her advice, but she might take it the wrong way and think that they're, picking with her because she don't like listening to nobody. Or if it's another content, like a reactor especially, she always feel like she always has to address everything. So that's clearly a lie. She does care what people think. She is lying.
And like, that's the truth, especially since this is what I do to like provide what I can do. But
she blinking. That's why she keep taking those long dramatic pauses and keep blinking like that, because she's trying to push some tears out. That's why she keep blinking. Because I used to do that when I was a little kid. Like, whenever I wanted to get my way and I wanted to get sympathy from my mom or something like that, and I couldn't get my way, I would just keep blinking and keep making long dramatic pauses and blinking and blinking and blinking until my eyes started watering. That's what she's trying to do. That's how she makes herself cry. Or she's sitting there thinking about something sad to make her cry so she can get them cash apps rolling in.
life is hard, bro. It's really hard. I just want to give up. Like, why can't I be? And then I think, when I started thinking, I'm like, bro, I be thinking like, that's some selfish shit, but
Jasmine's full of it. Jasmine is full of it. She'll do anything for sympathy. She's doing a lot of cursing. So I'm just going to sit up there and keep giving my commentary. Okay. Basically what she said next was, that she kind of regrets. It sounds to me like she regrets having her kids, if you read between the lines, and focus on what it is that she's not saying. Why she don't regret her choices in men? Because basically what she said was, she just made it, long story short, she would have been in a different situation if she didn't have like kids. My thing is, those kids did not ask to come here. They didn't ask to be here. She was in love with Phillip at one point. She could have just stopped at one child. She didn't have to continue. She didn't, and then she turned around and she had Amaya. She didn't. Then she turned around and she got pregnant again, thinking it was going to be a third child, but it happened to be twins. And if he didn't go to jail, Stinkerbug probably would have been his too. So she can't put that on them. It's her choices in men. You can't blame that on the children. Okay? She decided to lay down and keep having them. Now, she allowed Chris to ruin her life, in my opinion. I knew when she first moved from her apartment that she had, remember that 2-bedroom apartment that she had, that she made a big mistake. If you look at her analytics on Social Blade, Jasmine is not getting money like that. She's not like no super huge big YouTuber like that. She do all right, like when she's consistent, but she ain't getting money. She ain't getting bread like that. I believe most of her money was coming from her sponsorships and like when she was doing like shout outs and stuff like that. You notice that when her and Chris were together and he was living there, she also used to post more videos. She was like more consistent. Now that he has left her, it's like she's not motivated to post as much, because I think her motivation for posting as much when he was there was for her to have money to like buy him things and take them out and do things like that. But he's not there now. So, I mean, I don't understand like how she could hustle and have hustle for a man, but now that she's by herself and she needs to hustle, she don't have hustle. I don't know if that just made sense. Like, I don't understand that part to me. It don't make sense to me. She shouldn't have moved nowhere without being married to him first. She would have been in a much better position financially if they would have been married, because he wouldn't have just been able to just up and leave her like that. He wouldn't have been able to just leave like that. He could have left, but she would have been in a position to be able to get alimony for a few years while she did her YouTube. So she would have been comfortable. She would have been getting child support for Stinkabug, and he would have had to pay her alimony because they've been together for they've been together for a little while. So if they would have been married, then she would have been good because she could have filed for alimony and child support too. He got over on her. He knew exactly what he was doing by not marrying her. He knew every move that Chris made was calculated. Every move. She said also in this live, she said that she can't ask her family for financial help. I guess she can. Chris helped her to burn that bridge down, especially with Mama Dukes. Mama Dukes and her, I don't know, maybe in time, because it seemed like Mama Dukes is still hurt and angry with her behind a lot of the things that took place when she was, together with Chris or whatever, even though they're not together. Mama Dukes usually step for Jasmine, and she usually step for her grandkids too. But I think that she kind of knows that Phillip is back in the picture, so she knows that the Davis 4 is going to be okay. So she doesn't have to do quite as much as she did before, because Phillip going to make sure his kids is okay. You can say what you want to say. He might be ugly, cockeyed, and four-eyed, and frog face, but he will take care of his kids. I don't know about the other kids he got, because he got a lot of other kids, but he going to make sure he take care of Jasmine kids. That's one thing he going to do. But how many times have they bailed her out before this situation though? Her family might just be tired of her. Or they might be in a situation where they don't have it. They might have their own financial issues. People have their own problems. She's not the only person that's going through stuff. Life is life, and for everybody. Food is expensive. Everything is going up. Everything. I literally went to Walmart today. I went to the Walmart today, and I wanted to get a watermelon because I had a taste for a watermelon. Do you know how much a watermelon is? A watermelon was $9.48. If you round it up, that's damn near $10 for a watermelon. A watermelon usually be like $5. $10 for a small, and I ain't even talking about no big watermelon. I'm talking about a small one. $10. I left that watermelon there. It's not that I didn't have it, but it's just the audacity of that. Really? Like, come on. And it's not even the watermelon that didn't have seeds. At least if I'm going to pay $10 for it, at least let the watermelon not have seeds. My thing is, not being funny, she would have been good if she just would have just stayed with the Davis 4. Because they all go to school all day and their dad has them some of the time. She would have been free to work while they was in school. Even if it was a part-time job, or she could have did DoorDash, while they were in school, or did Instacart while they were in school, and work and built her own schedule around them, and then been home in enough time, to receive them when they get home. And then she could just jump on live like she normally do. Nobody says she has to stop doing YouTube, because she don't want to give YouTube up. That would have been a good hustle for her. She could have did that and YouTube. But she don't want to do it. She has Stinkabug. Now she got to worry about daycare. And he's 2. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know about Texas because I don't live in Texas. But if Texas is the same as most places usually start kids off with school, I would say at 3. Maybe he can go to pre-K 3 for at least a half a day. And then I think when they're 4, I think my kids started going to school all day when they was in pre-K 4. Or was it kindergarten? No, it was pre-K 4. They had them going to school all day. Because pre-K 3, they was going to school for 2 hours. I would drop them off to school at 8:20, and then I would pick them up at, I think, like maybe 11:20 or 11:30. So it's like 8:20, 9:20, 10:20, 11. They would go to school for about 3 hours. So she should look into that too. So that way she can go to the gym by herself or just have some time. And that way she can get a hustle on while he in school. And then go pick him up or whatever. She gotta come up with some solutions. In closing. I feel like Chris used her. In closing, I feel like Chris used her. I feel like in some ways Phillip manipulated her. I feel like in some ways he's still manipulating her in a way. Jasmine just don't need to date. I feel like she needs to heal. I think she needs extensive therapy, and I'm not trying to be funny or mean, because she has like a lot of different things. She suffers from depression and anxiety real bad, and she don't need to be in a relationship with nobody right now. Because if she was to get in a new relationship and she didn't really heal from the last two relationships she was in, that would mentally break her. Like, well, she would need to either be on medication or they will have to probably commit her. Because when she's in a relationship, she gives it her absolute all. And she needs to pour that into her children, and she needs to pour that into herself. Well, that will be all for today's episode of Mr. Panda Talk Time, discussing Jasmine and her lazy behind. Thank you for listening. I love you all, and be blessed. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe to my channel. And be blessed, and have a good evening.